When the time came,
I was 20 years old when I was in Vietnam.
they answered the call,
Brings back a lot of memories.
serving our country in uniform.
From World War II, Korea, the Cold War, Vietnam, we have them all.
And all these years later,
Never expected anything like this.
a very special thank you.
I feel very privileged.
Well, it's been a great 2 days.
2 days in our nation's capital, visiting memorials meant to salute their service.
Very impressed.
When they say honor flight, I'm having the honor because it's an honor to come on this.
These men and women deserve this tribute. It's time.
Presented commercial-free by the Westher Automotive Group, Voices of Our Veterans, the Buffalo Niagara Honor Flight starts now. Happy Veterans Day. I'm Michael Wooten, and welcome to the 18th mission of the Buffalo Niagara Honor Flight. Several dozen of our local veterans, each with a guardian, brought free of charge from Western New York and Northern Pennsylvania here to the greater Washington, D.C. area. We're visiting monuments and memorials, many of which are dedicated to their service to our country. And over the next half hour, you're about to see why, for so many of them, this is the trip of a lifetime. From the moment they arrived at the airport, these 36 veterans got a first-class welcome and the VIP treatment that would last throughout the weekend, including a rare and beautiful water cannon salute. At 30,000 feet, Honor Flight Vice President Nancy Babbas set the stage for what was to come. How excited are you?
I'm most excited for the healing process that many of our veterans express that they experienced when they get home from the honor flight. That's the most exciting thing for me, is to know that somebody's wounds or heart may be healed because of this visit.
After touching down in Baltimore, the turnout in the terminal was overwhelming. Complete strangers joining volunteers with a simple message: thank you for your service.
Terminal from New York, Buffalo Niagara Honor Flight with veterans from World War II, Korea, Vietnam. God bless our veterans. God bless America, land of the free, because of the brave.
Among the surprises, Fred Bonish's son Mark flew up from Florida. He's a pilot, but reworked his schedule last minute, despite chaos from hurricanes, to see his dad.
Are you surprised?
Oh, surprised is not the right word there. I'm over surprised. This is my son Mark. He came up from Florida here.
How important was it for you to make this happen? I mean, this was logistically a difficult thing.
It was. It took some moving some pieces in place, but I wanted to be part of it, at least a small part of it, to support and honor him and his service. So I was glad that it was able to work out.
God bless our veterans, land of the free, because of the brave.
Our first destination honoring the greatest generation. The World War II Memorial is a stunning salute to the sacrifice of so many, including Grand Island's own Joe Sinikowski. Tell me what it's like as a World War II veteran to be at this memorial today.
Well, this is the first time I visited this memorial, the World War II Memorial. The last time I was here, it wasn't built yet. And I'm very impressed, very impressed. We were all discussing what kind of monument they would put up, and they did a good job.
His nieces joined him, one surprising Joe traveling all the way from California.
He was overwhelmed by the amount of people clapping and banners, and then he didn't realize it was me until I actually gave him a kiss on the cheek. He's like, okay, who's this woman kissing me?
Yeah. Why was it important for the two of you to be here for this?
You want to take this one?
Well, his wife, my Aunt Marilyn, passed away in February, and actually Uncle John is our last relative. So we've all been very close with him, and they've always been very patriotic and very caring and loving to us. They don't have any children, so Francie and I are really like their daughters.
Alan Preem served in post-World War II Europe and later Korea. What has this trip meant to you?
Means the world. Let me tell you, I feel the privilege. When they say honor flight, I'm having the honor because it's an honor to come on this thing. Let me tell you, to come on this flight is a true privilege and a true honor. It's one of the most things I'll remember the rest of my life. I can't say enough good about it.
Our next stop is an especially significant one. This is the Vietnam Veterans Memorial. 80% of the men and the women on this Buffalo Niagara Honor Flight served in the Vietnam era. And despite the fact that 3 million people a year visit this place, many of those local veterans are visiting this sacred site for the first time.
I got drafted in the United States Army in 1965. It's going to tear me up inside, just thinking about the guys that are here.
Rick Houselayton was overwhelmed reading the names and recalling the sacrifice.
It jerks at my heart because their loved ones were home here, and their sons and fathers and daughters, they didn't come home like I did. I'm a lucky one. 58,000 people more on the wall here. It was tragic, but we all did our duty, you know. I'm proud to be an American, and I'm glad I was there. And I'll do it again if they ask me.
Right here, 1, 2, 3.
As the Vietnam veterans on this honor flight posed for a group photo, one face was noticeably missing. Because from the moment he got near the wall, Joe Rosala was a man on a mission.
They wanted to have the picture taken. I said, I got to do a thing. I mean, it's over here. No, it's not. I can feel it. It's over there. And it was there because it was like, it's calling. I had to go.
He had to go to find a name among the 58,000 engraved in the granite. Thomas F. O'Day Jr., Joe's commanding officer.
He was a great guy, and it felt like I was there when he died. Now it's a way to say, hey, sir, I'm here.
Joe invited us to go with him.
You see, it's overwhelming. I mean, it's just names. Where is he?
As he searched line by line, name by name, until... Right beneath your finger, go down, there's Thomas.
There was dozens of people around. I wasn't worried about breaking down or being embarrassed. It just hits you. I had my finger one row over it. You said, he's right under your finger. I couldn't see it. I wasn't thinking too clearly there because emotion was driving the train. But it was everything.
You needed it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It was closure.
Closure after more than 50 years. Lieutenant Colonel O'Day was killed in action on December 25th, 1968.
I can't feel joy at Christmas, and I never knew why.
Joe used to block his memories of Vietnam.
Over us, probably.
Now he relives them.
That's a medevac helicopter. I called it in.
Always a fan of photography.
I bought a Canon FTQL film, and I carried it with me.
Joe captured the consequences of combat, but also everyday life in a war zone.
I'm 12,000 miles away from home. I'm going to show people what it was really, really like.
Just as Joe was telling us about the sights, the smells, and the sounds that stick with him.
That's a Huey. That's a freaking Huey.
Yeah.
Yes.
A Vietnam-era helicopter
Sound never goes away.
flew right over us.
The good news is I'm not under the bench right now, because before it would have happened.
It happened not once,
Let's go back in time, shall we?
but twice.
What do you think when you hear that?
You're overwhelmed with emotion, because usually that's associated with not so good memories.
But it's all part of who he is.
Please tell our story. And we talked about this. I'm sorry, I'm going to... it's easy to tell a story when you have a story to tell. We have a story.
Joe's story is still developing. On this trip, we never saw him without his camera.
Photography is an art, and art expresses what words cannot say. So a lot of stuff, emotion I have bottled up inside, I can't say it or communicate it, but I can tell a story with this thing. And I can tell you a million words and you'll forget all of them, but I put one image in your head you'll remember for the rest of your life. So I always carry my camera. You've seen it today. It's my security blanket. People rarely see me without the damn thing.
And often this is on the other end of the lens. Joe runs a nonprofit called Dog Tags New York, connecting veterans with canine companions.
You know, I've heard the story over and over again. If it wasn't for my dog, I wouldn't be here. So I packed dog treats for this trip. So you've seen me. Any dog that went by, come here, buddy, you know. And we became fast friends. The volunteering and giving back is enormous. It's selfish, really. It's for me, but to help other people.
The help Joe has received saved his life. He's been in counseling every 2 weeks since 2001.
I didn't come all the way home from Vietnam. I'm still working on it. It's a challenge. I'm okay.
The challenge on this daunting day met in a moment of quiet reflection and memorialized in a keepsake that's now one of Joe's most prized possessions.
And it felt like I was carrying a refrigerator for all these years, and I felt lighter. I think my demeanor improved a little bit. Ask my guardian. I was a little bit easier to find because I was on a mission. There's no way in hell I got to do it. I did it. That's it.
You got it?
I got it.
And he just made it for a final group photo with his fellow Vietnam vets. But one challenge remained.
If you go to a veteran cemetery, quite often you see coins on the top of the headstones.
Joe needed to get a challenge coin from his nonprofit placed at Lieutenant Colonel O'Day's gravesite at Arlington National Cemetery. Thanks to the help of our tour guides, Joe got these photos showing mission accomplished.
This lets Colonel O'Day know that we're here.
It seems like this is probably one of those life-changing trips for you.
It almost didn't happen. It almost didn't happen, but it did. And it is life-changing. It is life-changing. It is everything to me. I mean, this is going to make memories that I will have forever. Now, I'm 77, so I got more time behind me than I do ahead of me. But what time I got left, I ain't gonna waste. And this was spectacular.
Not far from the Vietnam Wall is the memorial to the Korean War, in which several of our veterans served. 19 statues that, when reflected on the wall, show 38 troops, representing the 38 months of the conflict and the 38th parallel that separated North and South Korea.
How special has this been to you?
Thunderstruck, gobsmacked, way beyond anything I imagined.
It's one thing to see it in pictures or videos or something, but to actually come here and see it and to know that this was erected in honor of your service, it's a special thing, huh?
Yes, it is. This pours me away, it really does. I don't know, it draws back some of the feelings that I had back then about the war.
I wish every soldier would take this trip.
Here we are at the U.S. Marine Corps War Memorial, better known as Iwo Jima, inspired by that iconic photo from 1945. Marines raising an American flag in Mount Suribachi, Japan. 2 men on this honor flight served in the Marines, though everyone was in awe of the magnificence of this monument, especially as we approached dusk. For now, these honor flights are only open to veterans of World War II, Korea, Vietnam, and the Cold War. But the trip also includes a stop here to the Pentagon Memorial. What happened here on 9/11, of course, led to America's longest war. This site includes 184 benches for the 184 people killed inside the building and on American Airlines Flight 77. Each bench engraved with a name and arranged in order of the ages of the victims from 3 to 71. A nearby wall rising in height from 3 inches up to 71.
They're absolutely spectacular. They're beautiful. And I think everybody should, like, this is a civics lesson. You should see it. And then the meanings behind it, the symbolism behind all these monuments are very, very deep.
From there, we headed for the hotel, but the night was far from over. Well, now we've made it to one of the most special parts of the entire day, and it's a bit of a surprise for these veterans. They've just wrapped up dinner, and behind these doors, something known as mail call.
Mail call.
Mail call. Wow.
That's a mail.
Gotcha. See what's in it.
I didn't think we would.
Well, actually, it was kind of overwhelming. I didn't think, at first we opened it up, we see they were from the children that are around, And then all of a sudden I start seeing people's names I recognize. And then I see one from my son. I'm thinking, wow, how'd he even know we were going on this trip?
Todd Weissman.
The gifts of a very best friend, a lifetime of love, and a hug and a smile, a reason to visit and stay for a while, the strength of a bond that's destined to last, the joys of the present, the warmth of the past. These are the treasures, a fortunate few, we should cherish all our lives through. These are the blessings on which we depend, for these are the gifts of a very best friend.
It's overwhelming, Speechless.
Dear hero, thank you for all you have done for me. I really appreciate it. All you have done. You are the best person in the world. Thank you. From Colette, I love USA. Thank you.
It's just something you'll never forget. I'll remember this till the day I die, I guess.
Day 2 started bright and early as we boarded buses headed for one of the most memorable parts of the entire trip.
We're going to get off here and we're going to do our group picture first on the steps in front of the amphitheater.
We arrived at Arlington National Cemetery for pictures well before the first changing of the guard at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, and got there early enough to ensure our veterans would have a front row look at the solemn service. Army soldiers have guarded this site around the clock since 1937.
Guards! Halt! Halt! Halt!
Two sets of brothers on our honor flight, Rob and Tom Mary, and Don and Fred Warnick, with a special salute.
Present! Out!
Just a few miles from Arlington is the Air Force Memorial. 3 stunning stainless steel spires soaring into the sky, recreating the contrails of the famous maneuver of the Thunderbirds.
Tell me about your service in the Air Force.
Had a great career, loved it, worked on worldwide missions, transporting troops, anything that needed moved, why we moved them with the 141. But it is very, very humbling, this place. It's really something to see.
It's awesome. It is so nice, it's beautiful, you know.
If you weren't patriotic before it started, you're going to be patriotic by the time it's over with. It's been just fantastic.
Kathleen Eisenreed with quite a distinction. She's the only female veteran on our trip.
I signed up when I was 17. My mother encouraged me to go into the military because I didn't have any career goals and I didn't have any money for college, and I was looking for adventure and travel. I did bring my swimsuit to basic training. And it was kind of funny, so it's a good thing I really didn't know what was at the other end.
The Military Women's Memorial saluting her service during the Vietnam War.
Without you being able to serve prior to me, I would not be able to serve now.
In 1993, Kathleen became the first ever woman veteran coordinator at the VA hospital in Buffalo.
It's surreal, really. It really is. It's really an honor. And to be amongst all these veterans also that were in the Air Force doing different jobs, I feel very privileged. I'm glad to be here. And all the amazing volunteers that actually make it happen.
Yeah. We've made it now to the final stop on this Mission 18 of Buffalo Niagara Honor Flight here at the U.S. Naval Academy in Annapolis, Maryland,
where about 1,000 midshipmen graduate each year. When you think of the Navy, the Buffalo and Erie County Naval and Military Park may come to mind. 4 of the docents were on our honor flight and took the opportunity to promote the park.
It's an event. You make a day of it. We have much to see and much to enjoy. Please come and join us. And we're also trying to recruit docents at all times. As you can see, we're no longer kids. So we need some new blood in the system.
It's awe-inspiring to see the sacrifice of these young men and women.
It's nice because we work as a group, but we're a team, and it's nice to be able to share an experience like this with fellow veterans and people that we work with.
It's just amazing, all the things that we've seen. We really enjoyed it.
After bus and walking tours of the Naval Academy campus,
and we wish you all safe travels home, and go Bills.
It was time to head back to the airport for a quick flight home. These veterans had no idea of what was waiting for them when we touched down.
If you look out the window, the sun is setting on 2 days of great memories. New friends, some healing for some of these guys and gals, but what a tremendous group. We have had a blast with them the last 2 days.
Welcome home. Did you been waiting?
Tonight, they went through the airport wearing their Buffalo Niagara Honor Flight proud shirt saying, "I got my welcome home." No injuries, no bail money was used. So it's been a great 2 days. These men and women deserve this tribute. It's time.
That's awesome. World War II. World War II. World War II.
And then they see their family waiting for them. It's that finale.
Garrett, these are my people.
And so Mission 18 is complete. They're now preparing for Mission 19. More veterans coming here to our nation's capital. That'll be this coming April. If you'd like to help, they're always looking for donations. Just go to buffaloniagarahonorflight.org. Our thanks to these veterans, their families, and to the organization, and to the Westher Automotive Group for this commercial-free special edition of Voices of Our Veterans. And happy Veterans Day.